Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got game 2 of this epic best-of-3 series, the end of the America Qualifiers. I've got a nerd sweat going on after that game, Merlini. That was intense.
Super intense. Rarely do you see a game between AM and Luna go that intense, but it was like 20 minutes of farming and then just
chaos. Bloodbath.
Chaos ensued.
Yeah, more buybacks than I think I've seen in any game that I've casted. They were at least in the double digits on both sides. At the end, everybody's buyback was on cooldown except for the supports who couldn't afford it.
Probably like half the deaths were buybacks.
Yeah. It's true. So Osiris took game 1. Dignotoss, it was a noble effort. They played pretty well. Any thoughts about coming into game 2? How can they tighten up their play?
They need to draft better, firstly. If they had a different support besides Enigma, the game probably wouldn't have ended up like that. And I think they actually played better than Osiris in the last half of the game. I think Osiris played better minutes 0 through 25, and then minutes 25 through however long game was, 45-ish. 50,
55,
53
something.
Everyone played well on the side of Dignotoss, except for Rubik just outplayed the crap out of them.
Rubik was the standout, the playmaker. So many big black holes. Oh, gosh. All right, let's get into this draft. We'll talk about what's coming up next and see what these players have in store for us. So one interesting thing off the bat, Invoker and Ember Spear, I think, have been the two heroes banned the most throughout this tournament. We've actually seen them played very infrequently, but they've gotten some attention. We will finally get to see some Invoker in what could be the last game of this tournament.
Yeah, we saw Osiris play Invoker the other day against Team Dog, but he did go Quas Exort, and he wasn't able to create space for his team. So I'm wondering whether he will go to the Quas Wex this game if they need it.
And wow, Visage into a second pick Puck. That is a rarity indeed. Osiris will just move straight into the Naga Siren.
They really like the Naga Siren, though. I think they picked it every single time. It hasn't been banned in the first stage.
So is this definitely, I mean, Invoker and Naga, usually the Radiance Naga is what we'd assume here. Who's got mid, who's got safe lane?
Naga safe lane. Petzl will play Naga Siren and safe lane and go Radiance. That's like
that's the plan.
What they always do.
That's what's happening here.
He's a drafter. He picks
calls the shots. Yeah, he picks what he wants.
He picks what he wants. He loves the Naga Siren.
Yeah, and,
they haven't lost with it.
And honestly, I think he plays the Radiance carries a little bit better. I think his Radiance Naga is way better than his anti-mage.
Yes, I agree. And his farmer is the same for both.
Yeah. He farms well. His decision-making was just a little bit questionable. Some of the times he manned up just a little bit too far. You see that anti-mage just in the middle of no man's land. You're watching the rest of the fight, and it's like, oh, anti-mage died? Oh, that's because he was diving the tier 4s, killing Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have stuck with your team.
That's because he blinked in without his, or blinked in, uses BKB before the Aegis, and died without his team around.
Yeah.
Like, you can do that if you have RP to back you up. Like, sure, go for it.
Right.
But his whole team can't blink in.
Yeah.
But
So, Puck's second pick. Talk to us about that a little bit. I mean, Puck is a hero susceptible to some counters. Puck versus Invoker, is that a wash, or is that good for Puck?
It's a wash. It's no one should win the lane.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get a kill on either side. Firstly, if you like Orban, you're going to get Cold Snap and probably die. And Invoker, he rarely plays aggressively. And if he does, Puck can just phase shift the Cold Snap or phase shift and orb out. So he shouldn't. Neither hero should die. Puck has a base damage advantage, so that has he has that going for him. Especially if Invoker goes Quas Wex. If he goes Exort, it should just be even farm.
And I'm trying to remember. I don't know if we've actually seen Osiris play Invoker.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Were
they
the
Quas
ones?
Exort?
They did the Exort one, right?
They played a very greedy draft though. They didn't need it. They had a Nature's Prophet, an Invoker, and I think
they had some global.
Yeah, it was a Spectre, maybe.
Yeah, I think that was part of the reason we were suspecting they went Exort, because they had some more of a global presence, and he was trying to Sunstrike.
They need space creation though.
Yeah, I like the Quas Wex a lot better. I think right now it's stronger, it's better, and it's harder to deal with. I mean, how do you deal with EMP? You just try and get out of the way.
Mass,
BKB.
mass arcane boots.
Yeah,
but as a support, you're just boned. Just don't get hit by tornado.
Yeah,
that's about it.
It's don't get there you go. Don't get hit by tornado. That's your golden standard, but it's hard to deal with. He's pesky, and he's just so fast. That Ghost Walk, 100 seconds. Shit's insane.
Yeah, and he's like almost hasted with phase and drums and a lot of Wex.
Yeah, and if he gets a Yules on top of that, he is max. He's like just got a permanent haste rune. So wow, Dignotoss definitely switching things up with their draft. They will second pick.
Oh, it's an offlane Puck.
Third pick is Shadow Fiend, and I think we actually have seen them do this offlane Puck. And last time, did we see it yesterday? Where it was yesterday. It worked.
It was their stand-in though.
Yeah, it still worked well for him.
Yeah. Wait, was it their stand-in?
It wasn't Moby's, but it may
wasn't
have been
Moby's. It
one
wasn't
of the
Chicken
stand-ins that
MC.
they had yesterday. Well, Chicken MC wasn't there yesterday.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a stand-in.
Yeah, it was a stand-in, but not this stand-in.
10 seconds remaining.
So interesting. Shadow Fiend mid now. We're talking about
5
Puck versus
seconds
Invoker.
remaining.
Shadow Fiend versus
Shadow Fiend
Invoker.
Beats out Invoker around 4 to 5, I'd say.
Reserve
Okay.
time.
Like 1 to 3, like Invoker can put out a lot of pressure with Cold Snap and just last hitting, but the pressure always mounts when you're against the Shadow Fiend once he starts getting those souls. And Osiris, they don't really have heroes to rotate in just because they already have the Naga Siren pick. And what they like to do is babysit the crap out of Naga Siren.
Yeah.
He's pretty good versus Puck though, because if you get netted, you can just phase shift out. You can
Radiant
phase
team
dodge
pick.
the net too. And you're range, so you can put pressure on them when they leave the lane. Ooh, the Bat Rider. This is nice.
This is an interesting draft from Osiris.
It's interesting indeed. They might do in Bat Rider mid. I don't know.
This is
Probably
I
not.
feel like both teams now are pulling out those wild cards a little bit. With elimination on the line, this could be the last game of the tournament. Loser goes home empty-handed. Winner moves on to the actual Starladder America tournament. This is
10
maybe that time to
seconds
try and get your opponent out of their comfort zone, do something a little bit different.
Bat Rider is like
5
the
seconds
space creation
remaining.
hero though. Once
Yeah.
once he gets 6 and Blink, which should probably come like around the 10-11 minute mark,
Reserve
he will be
time.
able to create tons of space for Bat Rider. And yeah, Osiris's gaming is just, they have to play with finesse though. It's not a brute force like last game where they tried to brute force with the super farmed AM, because they almost lost a brute force battle.
Yeah, that's true. They certainly did. I'm worried about this lineup in terms of being able to harass the Naga. Shadow Fiend, he won't be able to do much pre-Radiance Naga. He's going to be trying to get his own farm. Visage, I mean, he's a great well-rounded support, but in terms of stopping Naga from farming, doesn't bring too much to the table. If this really will be an off-lane Puck, he'll eventually get a blink, and that can be a powerful tool in harassing Naga. But if he's off-lane, it's not going to be a fast blink by any means. So okay.
It's somewhat useful at picking up Naga Siren though. Like that's the important part. Like because Puck should get his blink before Naga Siren gets his radiance, even an offlane Puck.
Hopefully.
So yeah, hopefully. And then after that, you need to be able to kill Naga Siren. Like you have to kill her before she gets his radiance, or the game just gets insurmountably difficult from there.
Right. And Vengeful Spirit, the 4th pick.
It's a
Very
counter pick to
interesting.
Bat Rider.
Okay.
You can swap the lasso, but at the same time, Venge has to be high enough level to do so,
10
and Bat Rider has
seconds remaining.
to not have a 4-staff. Like if Bat Rider has a 4-staff, Venge has to be 11. If he doesn't have a
5
4-staff, Venge
seconds
has to be like
remaining.
super good at positioning. So it's like a soft counter. It's not a hard counter.
Yeah. And a well-rounded support.
Reserve
The
time.
stun does make for slightly easier ganks, so if they do have that kind of mobile death squad, perhaps they can pick on the Naga a little bit.
They have the minus armor too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this time they do not have the dire advantage of Roshan, so they have to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Presence of the Dark Lord mixed with the Wave of Terror.
And Visage Familiars too for the added physical deeps.
Mm-hmm.
The deeps.
So, and I actually just realized we have a new Starladder overlay. I saw someone in chat asking, Osiris is on Dire, Dignotoss is on Radiant. That's actually covered up by this overlay. So if you're confused as to which team is which, Dire is Osiris, and Dignotoss, aka Team Zerg, Team DNT, is on the Radiant. Now, Osiris
Radiant
grabbed
team
themselves a Shadow Shaman, the Rasta.
Rasta Pasta, man.
Rasta's
It's
Pasta.
interesting. It's a very unusual pick because he's not a space creator, he's not the best babysitter, and he's a pusher and a ganker at
10
foremost,
seconds
and
remaining.
he will work somewhat in well in
5
tandem with the
seconds
other heroes.
remaining.
If it's a Quas Exor Invoker, then they can push down towers and
Dire
release
team
space create by
back.
split pushing with the wards and the
Mhm.
Quas Exort. But like for lane, it's actually pretty good against a Puck. But aside from that, it's like aside from shutting down the Puck in lane with a really long duration shackle, I don't really see why they would pick Shadow Shaman over someone
10
like, let's say, a
seconds
Lion,
remaining.
who's much better
Yeah.
at bursting. And Shadow Fiend has to get a BKB or he'll just get Impale
5
Finger every fight.
seconds remaining.
It's true. I mean, Shadow Shaman still does have a lot of crowd controls between the Hex and the Shackle. And also
Reserve
mixed with the
time.
Naga Siren, you can use the Sleep to set up kills. And once you have the setup, drop the wards, and you can, either Hex or Shackle straight away. So there is some setup there.
10
But you're right, it
seconds
is not a
remaining.
pick that I would have predicted. Ancient Apparition, final ban from Dignotoss, and Nyx Assassin will be the final
Radiant
ban
team
from
pick.
Osiris. These are just strange drafts on both sides of the coin. Slark, the final choice. Well, that's good. He's
Dire
Slark
ganky.
He's ganky. is he ganky enough though? Is he going to be able to get a Shadow Blade before Nagasaran gets Radiance? I don't know. I don't think so.
It really depends on how they lane this. There is a lot of flexibility in the way Dignotoss.
They'll most
see
likely
these
just
lanes.
do safe lane try with Slark, offensive with more aggro off lane with Puck and
Shadow Fiend.
Shadow Fiend mid. Because
Probably.
they have to protect Shadow Fiend. Like
Yeah.
if Shadow Shaman comes in against it with Invoker, he's dead.
10
So
seconds
they have to
remaining.
babysit him like some amounts.
Yeah, there are just still a lot of
5
ways. I mean,
seconds
between
remaining.
Slark and well, Shadow Fiend could even be in the safe lane if they really want to get his farm up with supports in the
5
jungle.
seconds
Then you could have
remaining.
Puck mid or Slark in the off lane, and those two can be interchangeable. Puck.
Oh, that's
or
true.
Slark can also play the off lane.
Good call.
So there's just a lot of flexibility
What
here.
in a Lifestealer last? This is a support Naga Siren. I was like almost 100% sure it was the.
Wow.
Wow, throwing us for a loop.
Well,
I don't like the Lifestealer pick here.
Yeah, I mean,
He gets crushed by minus armor, and Venge and Shadow Fiend would just like tear him apart with those auras while he's raged, and he doesn't actually fare that well versus Slark. Like Slark just kites him the whole time.
yeah. And even Venge is a pretty good support to try and deal with Lifestealer. Whoever he's focused, if they're stunned, I mean, Venge can be the sacrificial lamb and swap out, even if he's raged. It's interesting. I mean, it can be a sign of good drafting when you pick the Naga first, you make everyone think it's going to be the Radiance as you've done, you pull the audible, and it ends up being a support. But
At the same time, how do you counter
10
a Radiance
seconds
Naga besides
remaining.
pushing? But
Yeah.
they banned out Death Prophet and whatnot.
yeah, they had a good setup
5
for the Radiance
seconds
Naga.
remaining.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. We'll see.
Well,
Glad to
get-
be proven wrong.
they get points for being creative, at least, even if this doesn't work. And Osiris, well, they're up one game in this best-of-3 series. They have a little bit of wiggle room here. It wouldn't be the end of the world if they don't take this game and take us into an ace match, but with so much on the line, I would be much more comfortable just trying to seal the deal and be done with it.
Yes, indeed. So they have a lot of. I'm trying to think about what are they going to use a Naga Siren for. Is it just like the setup? Is it to like counter initiate on the Puck? Is it to try and solo out the BKB heroes? Like, why would they go for a Naga Siren over? Why would they go for a Lifestealer carry over Naga Siren? It doesn't really make sense to me. Like Naga Siren how is he going to kill any of these heroes? Like, he's not going to be able to kill a Puck. He's not going to be able to kill a Slark. Shadow Fiend can usually man up on him if they're even farm, and Vengeful Spirit even can just swap someone else in if they wanted to, like swap the
Yeah.
Slark in and just pounce out. And like Visage is already naturally tanky, so like it's not like he's gonna be able to get free kills, and he's not like the ultimate late gamer either.
Yeah, and they have plenty of crowd controls to deal with Lifestealer. They've got silences from Puck. The Dream Coil works pretty well to keep him locked in place. Magic Missile. You've got the familiar stun. Slark with his pounce. I think they just have plenty of tools at their disposal for the Lifestealer. I'm in the same boat as you, my friend. I'm having trouble making sense of that Lifestealer final pick. But we'll see how these lanes settle down here. On the side of DNT, we've got Chicken MC heading back to the streets once again, playing on the Fairy Dragon in the solo safe lane. It will be their stand-in, Mobies, on the Shadow Fiend solo mid, and that means they will do an aggressive try. Osiris on the Slark, Narok playing on... That's not Osiris, what am I saying? One. Whoever that is, their position 1 player, playing on the Slark, Narok on the Visage, and Derp supporting on the Vengeful Spirit. Now on the dire side, Guanzo will be off lane with the Bat Rider. In the mid, it will be Invoker, played by Osiris, tagged up as 2014. And it
30
seems it will be a
seconds to
support Naga, being played by Classic, Pat Soul on the position 1 Lifestealer. And there's Willez, the big player from last game who was on the Rubik, now on the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, and it looks like Dignotoss has actually predicted the lanes quite easily, and you actually see Puck start off with a Magic Stick already, so he's going to be well equipped to deal with the Bat Rider. So on the side of Dignotoss, Derp, Venge, Narok on the Visage, Mobies is stand-in. He was DK last game, this time on the Shadow Fiend.
The battle
One on the...
begins.
Oh wait, you reintroduced these, didn't
I
you?
sure did.
Okay.
I was just going to let you go with it.
I heard you introduce Dire, and I was like, wait, you might have not introduced Radiant, and then I was like, wait, you did just talk about it. I was like, I was looking at what Guanzo was doing with Firefly. My bad there. Sometimes I'm just zoning out.
It's okay. It's hard to listen to each other nonstop for several hours, Marlene. I forgive you.
There's a smoke already. There might be an early first blood on 2014. He's going Quads X this time, too, so this will...
Yeah.
Oh, he had a not-so-good block either.
Ooh, this Invoker's in big trouble. The smoke's revealed. Magic Missile to start it off, and they'll just start to land the right clicks, the slow from the Visage, and yeah.
And Shadow Fiend will get the kill, too. That's huge. He has 600 gold, and he has 12 souls already.
Wow.
If a kill unit is a hero, you get 12 souls.
That is that's really big. That's huge.
That was a nice smoke by Dignotoss.
Yeah, a great start. So, up top, Patsol should be in free farm heaven for the most part. Right now it is just Slark, though. They will rotate back up, so that free farm
It's just a lifestealer, though. Like, lifestealer's nice and all, but he really shines on being able to kill weak supports. But this game, and kill the carry hero. Like a Luna, he can just man up on early in the game. But, yeah, in this particular situation, I don't know if that's going to do the trick.
Myself included. And Slark, well, he's off to an okay start as well. 4-0 against the 4-2 lifestealer. Though Slark, much more of a mid-game presence, but as we talked about, it's all about the timing on that Shadow Blade. We'll see Invoker throw a Cold Snap out on Shadow Fiend mid, and actually does a fair bit of damage. But just a couple of right clicks, you can see how much that early boost in the souls is helping the Shadow Fiend, and he's actually close to level 3.
Yep, so he has
So
6 and 3 on him right now.
Yeah. And how's this off lane looking? Puck 5 and 4 against the 2-1 Batrider. So Guanzo actually struggling a little bit, though the creeps will shove into his tower, and perhaps this will give him the opportunity to rack up some of those last hits. He's doing a good job using Sticky Napalm, spaced on the name there for a second, outside of range of the charges. Puck actually has 0 charges on the wand right now.
Nice from him. Well, Puck has Bassi, but yeah, Guanzo, we may see like a... I don't think he can put that much pressure on the Puck, so I don't think he'll be able to get a solo kill. And he can farm his Blink up at a reasonable place. We see Willas and Classic just stacking and pooling, stacking and pooling.
Yeah, Naga as a support here. I'm still trying to make sense of it. Usually Naga is a hero kind of picked into Lifestealer because the Ensnare goes through BKB. But they have the Lifestealer here. I mean, she's not a bad support. You still have the ultimate for some setup, but...
It's like I'm so much more scared of a Naga free farm than a Lifestealer free farm.
Yeah.
Like 3 times more scared.
She's really fallen off as a popular support choice, though.
Yeah, she's decent. She's not a bad support, but at the same time, she's just a much better carry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I was going to say the problem with these two dire supports is they can't clear the jungle very effectively, but neither can the supports on the Radiant side, so it is sort of a wash on that front.
Yeah. Patsol is not... Yeah, I guess he's in somewhat of freeform heaven, but Slark is 12 and 1 compared to Lifestealer's 13 and 3, so he's getting the better end of that deal.
Yeah. At least Patsol's getting something. Now in the mid lane, relatively even. Osiris himself has been doing quite well. They're even on experience, and he's caught up in last hits. He's now 12 and 4 against the 13 and 5 Shadow Fiend. So that's quite the recovery.
Yeah, that's pretty
slow
nice.
Start. It's good news for Osiris.
Yeah, but now Shadow Fiend's going to hit level 5 soon. He is level 5 right now, so now the raises start coming in, and then the 4-minute rune's going to come out, Invoker, generally with pretty poor rune control as Quaza Wex.
Has Tornado Cold Snap right now, so, well, we'll see how it goes. A much different game than last. 1 kill here in 4 minutes. Very quiet early game. It is an invisibility rune that actually spawned at the 2-minute mark. Neither side has any vision down bottom, so they don't know that it's been there. Batrider will head down. He's got a bottle, but it's actually sitting back in the bank.
Ooh, if he gets a gank on mid with this, then that could definitely turn the tides for Osiris. So it looks like they will want to do that. With a tornado into a cold snap, it should be a relatively easy kill. Looks like he's gonna actually take the shorter route. Yeah.
Such a smart play.
Oh, that's a triple stack.
Yeah, an obvious missing call right there. Moby's just moves into the triple stack on the hard camp, and he'll continue his farm. So this is one of the nice things. You can do this on the Dire as well. One of the nice things about the Radiant is you don't have to go quite as far. Unfortunately, he got mud golems in that close.
There's all 6.5. Wow.
Not the best for Shadow Fiend, but that triple stack makes up for it. And, of course, they wasted some time on the Batrider as well. He pulled all the way out of lane, rotated mid just on brown boots, and then walked all the way back down bottom. So, not only did he get the triple stack, but also avoided death and pulled him out of position. Meanwhile, up top, though, Patsol will initiate onto the Vengeful Spirit. Rage comes out, as does the Ensnare, and Derp will stand his ground. And actually, Naga Siren, the first to fall. Now the Shadow Shaman in trouble as Slark is lying into the right clicks. And Shadow Shaman will actually bite the bullet. Now it's just Patsol.
Wow.
He's in some trouble. Pardon me.
Patsol was so greedy there.
3-0.
Did you see what happened? He
died?
He was no. He was trying to go for the Vengeful Spirit, and then there was also the Naga Siren was on the Vengeful Spirit, and he was 1 hit away from dying. And instead of getting the kill on her, He turned around to focus the Slark who was being shackled, and then Vengeful Spirit survives because the Naga gets Soul Assumption, and then he turns around. Yeah, he turns around to kill her, and she doesn't. So instead of just going for a surefire kill, he's like, hey, I'm going to get some extra damage on this guy.
Yeah.
And he got like one hit in on the Slark, and instead the Vengeful Spirit gets away and then turns around to bite him in the butt because she stuns him for the kill afterwards. So what should have been maybe like a 2-for-1 ends up being a 3-for-0 again because of Pat Soul's questionable decision making.
And while all that happened, Chicken MC did get a solo kill with the Puck on Bat Rider down bottom. Bat Rider is now level 5, and Puck is almost level 8.
This game's a disaster for them.
Yeah, it really is. We didn't catch that one as we were watching the engage up top, but it seems that Chicken MC just took that edge, that experience edge, when Guanzo rotated mid. And used the Dream Coil to secure a kill. Now Moby's, he's in some trouble. They do connect with an ensnare. The EMP, they have plenty of damage to follow him off. Now Slark, oh, he poured it in at the wrong time, but support is inbound. In comes the Dream Coil. They clean it up. Down goes the Shadow Shaman as well as the Naga.
Wow, so Guanzo died to a solo Puck without the use of Dream Coil, because it wouldn't have been cooled down by then.
Wow.
So I don't know how that happened either. And he didn't get a rune because
yeah, you're exactly right. It would have been up, or still would have been on. That's, jeez.
Yeah,
I kind of wish I saw it.
I'm not sure how that happened. He had a bottle too, so even if he got harassed a little bit, he should have been okay. But yeah, this is just not going well for Osiris at all. Gold lead is about 3,000 already. Shadow Fiend is getting huge. He has died once, but he does have his treads, and he is level 7. And it looks like Guanzo will get a nice 4 camp with his Firefly. So that's a value Firefly right there.
And a double damage rune is on as well as he heads back to lane. At least now he's level 7. Puck still doing quite well, halfway through level 8. So even though there was some recovery for the Bat Rider, still an obvious edge for the Fairy Dragon. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the net worth chart here. Shadow Fiend is topping the charts. Slark at number 2 and Puck at number 3. So all 3 lanes for DNT going their way. Bat Rider has now rotated into the mid. Double damage rune about to expire, but he's been scouted out. We see pings coming out from the Visage. They know exactly where he is. He needs to be careful. He does not have a blink, only about halfway there.
Yep, he's going to get caught out.
Oh, Guanzo. There's the magic missile. Narok will be here for plenty of damage follow-up. Firefly, actually, will they have the damage for it? They do. Now in comes Invoker, Tornado into EMP. Derp derp, say goodbye to your mana. Cold Snap as well, but he won't pursue. They'll just switch targets onto the Visage. And Snare comes out. Invoker without any cooldowns. Doesn't matter. Maybe it does. They don't have enough to finish him off. Now Chicken MC, he's joining the fray. Slark joining as well. And they'll finish off the Naga Siren on the high ground. Invoker, he's going to get converged on. It's an Invoker sandwich. Now Pat Soul, what is this? Osiris, it's like watching another team. They're just running in one at a time.
Yeah.
10-1 here at the 8.5 minute mark.
This is, I don't even know what's going on with the early game. First Invoker gives the easy first blood. He doesn't get a good block. He doesn't know where the supports are. I can understand it, though, because they smoked. But after that, like, just a lot of these poor engagements. Pat Soul not finishing out the Vengeful Spirit on top, giving them a 3-for-0. And Guanzo rotating for a very low probability kill, even though they probably have wards over there. And, yeah, I mean, maybe if he had, like, a rune, maybe if he had a blink or something like that, he could. But he's not even close. Chicken MC probably is very close to his blink on the flip side. Now, he has treads. If he didn't have treads, he'd be close to his blink.
But his farm is still looking quite good. Bat Rider is still very poor, not so close to his blink, and still just sitting on brown boots. About 2K net worth, Puck at 3.2, so a huge disparity between those two solo laners that were matched up against each other. And that was a completely solo lane. There was no support roaming down. Puck just straight won.
Yep, Chicken MC, back to the streets.
Back to the streets.
Willis needs level 6 ASAP so they can actually start taking some towers. Lifestealer hasn't done anything this game.
Yeah. I mean, he can. He's been put down. He's 0-1-1. They didn't euthanize him, but they're keeping him down.
Visage is level 6. Venge is level 6. This is going to be potentially utter devastation in the mid lane.
Yeah, Naga only level 4 as well. There's the swap onto the Invoker. EMP comes out. He will use the Cold Snap as well, but now he's in trouble. Wave of Terror for a little bit of follow-up damage. Venge actually the first to go down. Now Narok, maybe he's overcommitted. Shadow Fiend in some trouble as well. Now Puck joining the party. The Dream Coil comes out. Visage will fall to the Bat Rider, but oh boy, Shadow Fiend just cleans it up. Both Naga and Shadow Shaman can't survive the duration of the Dream Coil. And it ends at a 2-for-2.
Guanzo may actually die. He might die to the Visage Birds. Nope,
he will retreat. So I guess a good exchange for Osiris since it was even.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's a good. Yeah, that is a very good exchange. It was all because Guanzo scouted out from the high ground, was able to get the last on Visage. If Visage were left free, he would have just sold Assumption and Invoker, and they would have been able to drop him very fast in the fight.
So it's baby steps here.
He has Blink now too, so that's big.
Yeah, still a long ways to go. Is that? Oh wow, yeah, that was actually really big for Guanzo. But Patsol's in some trouble up top. They're looking to converge. Chicken MC is nearby. He's close to his blink. Doesn't have it quite yet.
He should be okay. He can just rage and then infest if he needs to.
Pounce off the mark. Support coming in now. Okay.
What is Narok doing? He's in no man's land. It's just a very free kill for them. I don't know what their plan was. Like, how are you going to kill a Lifestealer? Lifestealer, yeah, he might not have been doing anything.
Now Derp dives the tower. He got baited in by the low Shadow Shaman. He'll get netted, shackled. And this will end up being a free kill. No, it won't. They get a kill on the Shadow Shaman, but now Invoker joins the party, and they secure the kill on the Vengeful Spirit. But Bat Rider, he catches Chicken MC.
Hello, Blink Dagger.
Wow. Puck will hop to the orb, but it's just not enough. So another good exchange for Osiris. They at least make it a 1 for 2 here.
What was their game plan?
Actually, a 1 for 3.
Why would they approach the Lifestealer like that? If you have a Blink on Puck, you can do that. But if they don't, then he was at 1950 gold. They could have just waited 200 gold and then initiate on the Puck. But they on the Lifestealer, they just like ran up to him, hoping he was going to die to the silence and not rage. But
yeah, I mean, if they had better initiation, I guess they were hoping maybe Slark could come in and do some bursts and then a waning rift. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't there. Lifestealer bought himself some time, and that's a big kill on Puck because now he's a ways off that blink. He was close, and now he's back down to 1650, which is huge for Osiris, the big space creator, which is Blink Puck. Is now kept down, and, well, we saw Guanzo showing off his Blink Dagger there to great success.
Indeed. Now Shadow Shaman is level 6. They desperately needed this. Nagasiren is level 6 too in case they get in deep doo-doo. Patsoul, he was like nowhere close to dying too. He could have infested a creep and just sat in there for like at least like 20 seconds.
Uh-oh. Well, speaking of Patsoul, Pounce will come his way.
Where's the rage? Oh my goodness.
He didn't know the puck was going to be there, but yeah, they catch it. Now Willez, he ports in.
This is just a massive feed.
What are you doing? What was the plan? I mean, the Shadow okay, maybe Lifestealer, they don't have vision. There's a lane ward there. He doesn't know Puck is nearby. Okay, he gets silence, gets dropped. But the Shadow Shaman, I mean, what was the plan? I don't know. We'll analyze it in a moment, though, as Song of the Siren comes out. There is some setup. Ports coming in. Invoker. He'll get silence before the setup can do anything. A bloody disaster as the silence comes out from Puck. Dream Coil as well. It looks like Invoker will actually survive. They get a kill on Slark, and they get a cleanup kill on Vengeful Spirit. So not quite the disaster I thought it would be, but Invoker actually doesn't survive as Puck reinitiates, nor does the Naga. Okay, I take it back. It was a pretty big disaster. Double damage up on Guanzo. We'll get some vision. Puck, phase shift, and we'll blink. Back to safety. Flame Break interrupts it. Chicken MC, you are headed back to the streets, my friend. Willez coming in.
If he blinked over here or something, I think he would have been able to escape. But he blinked right next to a creep.
Yeah, the tower was denied as well. So
yeah, why is Invoker running into a Puck during his sleep? Like, you have 7 seconds to not run into Puck, and he just gets straight silence out of it.
Yeah.
And he almost died.
So it ends up being okay, the 2 for 3 exchange, but it could have been much more smooth than that. There's no reason that Invoker needed to die there. And oh, Slark will actually get a recovery kill on Bat Rider. My apologies. And that will secure his Shadow Amulet into the Shadow Blade.
Yeah, the first game was epic with not too many mistakes, but some. This one is just like everyone just feeding.
Oh, maybe. I mean, Osiris took God, I don't know. It almost seems like they're tilted, even though they won the first game. You know?
Yeah.
Like they're playing like they're tilted, like their morale is being completely beat upside the head because they just keep having these odd, like, singleton port-ins and
Slark has Shadow Blade. Shadow Shaman's going to die.
Oh, no. That's just a free kill.
Oh, he gets Ward Trap.
Ward Trap off. Not too bad, but Slark does cut through it. There's the open wounds. Ultimate available. Patsoul. He will not pursue. Meanwhile, space created. Narok, Derp, and Mobies.
Mobies has BKB.
Tier 1.
3-1-1. 100 CS, 15 minutes in.
And a haste rune. Yeah, while all this has been happening, Shadow Fiend hasn't even been joining these fights. He's just been farming up. Look at the net worth chart. He's at 7.7k. The leader on Osiris is Bat Rider at 4.7k. That's a big even just look at the last hit disparity. 100 to 60.
Yeah.
Stick
to the Radiance carries, Patsoul. This is not your game.
Yeah, I think their draft was looking good until that Lifestealer. Now we see some initiation. Blink forward from Guanzo. He does get a lasso on Derp, but he just gets annihilated. Down goes the Naga, the Shadow Shaman, an easy 3-0. The Requiem of Souls doesn't even come out. This tower will fall. I think Osiris are going to be forced to tap out pretty soon.
Yeah, Chicken MC is just doing so much work on this puck, though. But as we said, Osiris is a very resilient team. I doubt they will concede early, but they don't have the late game. Like, they should concede early, even though I don't think they will.
Yeah. I mean, they already look like they're tilted, and there's something to be said sometimes of just tapping out, saying, all right, guys, it was a bad draft, whatever went wrong, wipe it off, let's start over, come into Game 3 fresh, and wipe off the tilt. And the longer you stay into just a demolition, the easier it is to get that rage building, the more you're, the higher possibility of raging at your teammates, and well, that's no good for anyone.
Yep.
Free Roshan as well, Aegis of the Immortal in the inventory of Shadow Fiend, and he's now got an invisibility rune.
I don't know what else to say. We pretty much covered most of it. Looks like Shadow Fiend is, he hasn't really done that much either. Like, once he started joining the fights, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, look, with the invisibility rune, this may be what they want to do. Slark with the Shadow Blade up. They're looking for an initiation. Naga does have an ultimate. Puck will hop to the orb. And, oh, that Requiem of Souls just obliterates the Shadow Shaman. It was actually Slark that finished him off. But Bat Rider gets clipped as well. He gets taken out. And another
rewards?
Easy 2-0.
Rasa is never my supportive choice versus Slark, though.
There
you can't do anything. GG. Yeah, that was
GG.
Not a good draft and not good play from Osiris. And Dignotoss, I mean, they even had some missteps of their own, but they played far better than they did in the early game than in Game 1. So I must say, like, Osiris, I just don't know what they were doing with the draft. Lifestealer did not fit in at all. He got farmed, but he did absolutely nothing with it. He ended the game with 0 kills, and the tri-lane was just that unmitigated disaster.
An unmitigated disaster.
All 3 of their lanes were.
That is the best way to describe that tri-lane, I think. I mean, it was sort of okay at the beginning, and then that first engage, an easy 3-0, went the way of DNT. That's the end of their tri-lane. They picked off the Invoker to start off the game as soon as the creeps spawned, so that's basically a win for Shadow Fiend. He got the kill, as you pointed out, so he basically started the game with 12 souls, and that's always a good way to get started. And then down bottom, Puck got a solo kill on the Bat Rider. Every single one of the Osiris lanes screwed the pooch.
Yeah, and that was what and then he TP'd in Dream Cold and killed 2 more. It was just
devastation.
Devastation indeed.
Absolute devastation.
Well, let's see if Team Osiris can regather their bearings, and they will be back in a Game 3. So yeah. I didn't expect this game to go to 3. I thought that Osiris would take this 2-0, but I have lost a lot of faith in Pat Soul after Game 1, his drafting and his play in Game 2 too. So
hey, maybe there was something to those odds that we saw after all. Dignotoss, this is what they did yesterday as well. They went down Game 1 and then came back with a pretty close Game 2, and they were able to squeeze out a win in Game 3 to make it here to the losers final. So the very last match of this tournament, guys, is coming up. Winner take all. That's the advancement as a reward, and loser goes home empty-handed. I'm Zyori. Get at me on Twitter at ZyoriTV. This guy's at Merlini Dota. We'll be right back with game number 3.